Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey if you're new here, and this is going to be a video of the B&K Book Club picks from July to December. If you're new here or you're not aware of B&K Book Club, it's Brittany Loves Reading and I's book club. We started, I think, back in 2022, I think. So we've been doing it for a few years at this point, and we lately have been doing a lot of new releases. I think that's what we started doing last year, and we've kind of brought it into this year because it's usually a huge hit. A lot of people like reading new releases as well as us, and it keeps us kind of on track reading new releases. With that being said, new releases I find are like either a huge hit or a miss. We've had some really great books this year and then some that have been like, wow, that has been awful. We've really been consistent. I feel like not Brittany and I, but overall in the group, like the average, it's been very consistent one way or another. First up is July's pick, which is When Javi Dumped Marie. This is Brittany's pick. It's a contemporary romance, and we both read contemporary romance, but we read kind of very different contemporary romance. So it's very interesting to kind of see our different selections. Like, for example, I chose One Golden Summer, which I still think Brittany will like, but she chose When Javi Dumped Marie. It's like we read very different contemporary fiction. So this book follows Javi and Marie, and they're best friends, and at college graduation they decide that they will not date another person without the other one kind of approving of them. However, years later, Marie kind of ditches that plan and starts dating someone and gets engaged to them actually. And Javi did not, have an approval or stuff like that. I think it's like a lighthearted vibe. But Javi is secretly in love with Marie and decides to kind of express his love, I guess, before she marries someone else. And I think it's just kind of like going to be like a cutesy kind of like second chance romance. So I am looking forward to this one. I have not read from this author before. Brittany has, and I think she loved all of them. She has told me about this author's books before, but I just haven't gotten around to reading them. So I am excited to start with this one. Next up is My Friends by Fredrik Backman, and this was one that we both were like, yes, yes, yes. We both love Fredrik Backman, and we read a couple together actually. So we read Brit Marie last year for book club, and now we're reading My Friends. So I hope he puts out more releases. I know he said this might be his last, so I'm actually very upset about that. But anyway, I am very excited to get into this. I think this will be a 5-star and overall a good book club pick. So this story follows a famous painting. I'm guessing it's this one on the cover, but it's of 3 friends, and Louise sees the famous painting and decides to kind of dive deeper and figure out their backstory and their lives and everything about them. So she kind of like dives into that, and that's kind of where the story starts. I'm very interested to see where it goes, and I just love Fredrik Backman's writing. It's emotional, it's like thought-provoking. I just have such a fun time reading his books, and I'm very excited. Next up is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, and I am worried about this one. I've never read an R.F. Kuang. I do have Babel that I would like to read, but I have not read any of her books yet, and Brittany loves her books so much, and I'm very worried for this one. I am intrigued, I will say that, because I've never read an R.F. Kuang. I am looking forward to diving into one. Dive in with an open mind, and I am looking forward to it, even though I am nervous. I'm very nervous about this book, and it could be a DNF. However, I am looking forward to it. This book follows Alice Law, and she's kind of like striving to work with this professor that she kind of idolizes in a sense, and she's working very hard on her magic and stuff like that, and he ends up actually dying, and she believes it's her fault, so she goes into hell to save him, or attempt to save him. And that's kind of where the story starts. I'm very interested in the storyline actually. When Brittany first suggested it, I hadn't looked up the synopsis or anything. I was just like, yeah, let's add it. And now that I'm looking it up, it actually seems pretty interesting. So I am a little bit more excited to read it. However, I am still weary. Next up is You Belong Here by Megan Miranda. And if you know me, I love a Megan Miranda thriller. Well, they're more mystery. They're definitely not thriller, they're mystery. I love Megan Miranda's books. We actually read Daughter of Mine last year for B&K. I think it was July or August. And it was overall a very good hit actually. Brittany I think gave it 4. I gave it a 5. Loved it so much. I love her books on audio, so I'll definitely be getting the audio for You Belong With Me. You Belong With Me, You Belong Here. So I am really looking forward to this. This is a highly anticipated read for me. This book follows Beckett, who is from Wyatt Valley, and originally she lived there, but she left after there was kind of a few tragedies that happened. Her roommate ran away, there was 2 deaths, and she left, but now her daughter, years later, has applied to the college in Wyatt. Valley, and she has to go back. So I'm sure things are going to be uncovered about that situation that happened years ago with the 2 deaths and the roommate running away. So I am expecting, there's always a huge mystery element in Megan Miranda's books, like kind of like often, I think her last book was like that, it was like back then and now kind of thing, so jumping a little bit back and forth. So I am very much looking forward to this mystery. Next up is Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell, and this is another one that Brittany and I were both like, absolutely. We love Lisa Jewell. That's one author we basically always agree on. I don't even think we've ever not agreed on a Lisa Jewell book. Like, I think we've also given her the same ratings, actually. So this is one where I do expect both of us to love. And if we don't love, then we'll both probably give the same rating. Like, we're very consistent with Lisa Jewell. And I'm so excited for this one. Lisa Jewell is an auto-buy author for me. Always buy her books, always enjoy them. And again, they are, I think, marketed more of a thriller, but I consider them more of a mystery in my opinion. This book follows Nina, whose husband unfortunately passes away, and later on she meets Nick, who she's really falling for. However, her daughter has a lot of suspicions, thinks he's too polished, he puts on kind of a facade, and she kind of digs deep into his past and uncovers some secrets. In another neighboring town, there's Martha, who her husband keeps disappearing for work and stuff like that. And she's starting to question it, and I have a feeling that her husband and Nick are the same person. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting from the synopsis. We will see. Next is The Honeymoon Switch, and I'm really looking forward to this one. We've had a few misses for December book club picks for the last 2 years, and I'm done with it. When we decided, we were thinking of what to pick for December, I got this from a friend in December of 2024, and I was like, this has just been getting great reviews. I've not seen anything bad about it, and we need a good one. Like, we can't rely on like new releases for December, because like we've had a bad track record for December books, and we need to switch it up. So I suggested this to Brittany. She was on board. This follows Holly and Ivy, and they're very in sync. They're best friends. And when Holly's husband or fiance decides to kind of like leave her, she has a non-refundable honeymoon booked already, so she is debating whether to go, and she's like, no, I don't want to go. So Ivy ends up going instead, and then Holly goes to like this secluded cabin that Ivy was going to go, so they kind of switch, and Holly's expecting to just kind of have alone time and stuff like that, and she actually ends up running into someone she previously knows. And then on the other side, Holly's husband ends up still going on the honeymoon, but bringing someone else. So it's kind of like a chaotic situation, lots of humor, I'm guessing. So I am really looking forward to reading this one. I think it'll be a light switch up read from kind of like our past December books that were not a hit. I think it'll be highly entertaining, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that wraps up B&K Book Club books for July to December. If there's any you're really looking forward to, let me know down below. Are you joining us for any? If there's any books in 2026 that you're really anticipating and you'd like us to potentially add them, please drop them below. We are not currently planning 2026, but we will be shortly, so that's really helpful. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!